Welcome to episode 84 of Chumps to Champions. Today it is a pre-season special episode. I'm in mid-July and we're going to play through our pre-season ahead of our first season in the Premier League. If you've missed the last few episodes, you've missed some great episodes because we have managed to get promoted to the Barclays Premier League. What an achievement. We beat Norwich on penalties in the last episode to get through to the top division of England. What a journey for the club. If we just look at the club, look at the journey. This is where this is where I started, and we in our first season promoted from the Conference South in 5th place via the playoffs, then spent 4 seasons in the conference getting promoted in that 4th season via the playoffs. After finishing 4th, we then easily got promoted from League 2 straight away in 2nd place before spending 1 season in League 1. We lost that playoff final against Chesterfield, really unfortunate, before topping League 1 quite easily, and then this season finishing 3rd in the Championship and going up via the playoffs. What a brilliant save this has been, and we're going to have 1 season in the Premier League before FM16 comes out. The aim is to stay up. Secondary aim, try and attempt to win either the League Cup or FA Cup, just to show that we were champions, chumps to champions. If we can win something, that would be brilliant. The only thing we've actually won in our whole time is the League 1 title. No, not the League 1 title. The League 1 title. When was that? Yeah, the League 1 title in 2021-22 season. You can see we're up to 3.5-star reputation club now. We're the 95th richest club in the world, apparently, which is good to be on that list. Finances are good. When the TV money came in and it said Chumps City received £90 million, I was like, what? I can't remember the most we've had to spend in one season, but I think it's well under £1 million. That is the maximum I've ever had. So to have a bit of money to spend is brilliant. I've already made some transfers. I'll go through them in a second. But just look at the finances. This season, projected balance is 63.7 million, which is just brilliant for a club like us. We've spent a bit of money this month on transfers, and the projection looks good. As you can see, it's on the up. And by 2025, the club is estimated to have £190 million, which would be amazing. I won't be here then, because I will this will be the last season, that's for sure. I do apologise for those of you that would love to see me go further, but there's more time for that on FM16 if I start early, start with a club towards the bottom, work my way up, and hopefully improve on this. It's just allowing me to improve in a future series, I guess. Okay, so you can see, you may have noticed that there's quite a few changes to the team, a few players going out, ones that are surplus to requirements, I guess, and a few interesting players coming into the team. You can see that I've got 4 goalkeepers because I've signed another goalkeeper. Carvalho has gone out on loan though. I have to keep Lovelock here for just old time's sake. I don't know whether he'll be the club captain, whether I should change it, because he really won't. He's 3rd choice goalkeeper. But he's still around at the age of 30. He's the only player that has travelled from start to finish with us. We've got Hickford, who was with us in that first season on loan, but he hasn't travelled the whole distance with us. So kudos to Tom Lovelock for that. Brilliant achievement from him to go the whole way with us to the Premier League. So on to transfers then. As you can see, I've got Pimenta Mitchell and Chris Robinson back on loan. It's strange because I thought their contracts were running up, and they were, but all their parent clubs have given them 1 or 2 year extra contracts. Strange in Paul Mitchell's case because he's never played for Reading. He's 24 years old now, 5 Scottish caps by the way, so he's doing well for Scotland. But maybe they're just keeping him because they think they could possibly utilise him in the future. Now, I could effectively afford to buy him, but at the time when I was having all the news articles coming through saying, do you want to re-loan these players, extend these loans, I had no money to spend. The Premier League TV money hadn't come in and I had £0 to spend, and I was slightly panicking, thinking I'm going to get no money here to spend to keep the club in the Premier League. But so that's why I signed Mitchell on loan at the time. It's his 5th season. He's going to be his 5th season on loan at the club, which is crazy, really. Pimenta had a phenomenal year last year, so he's back. He'll be a great partner in midfield for Paul Mitchell, I think. And maybe I'll find another midfielder. I can't remember who I've signed. We'll have to check. I can't remember if I've signed another midfielder yet. I think I've been looking at a lot of midfielders, but haven't signed an actual one to come into the team just yet. I've signed a defensive midfielder, though. And lastly, Chris Robinson, like I said, also back on loan from Huddersfield, who are in the Championship, which is quite ironic, really, because we beat them in the playoff semi-finals, and he's moved up a division on loan, which does happen sometimes in real life nowadays when a Championship player is too good for the Premier League, I guess, but the Premier League club doesn't want to buy them. But he will be back up this year because I do have a better right winger now. So moving on to the transfers, the actual transfers I've made so far. Going out of the club, lots of players on a free. Cole Bartley, surplus to requirements, didn't play much last season. Philip Roberts just didn't develop. George Cooper didn't do anything for me. Anthony Bacon didn't develop like I wanted him to. Lewis Allen, I thought it'd be best to let him go and find a club where he can play regular football. Louis Moult, been at the club quite a while but never really did anything for me. Ian Reese is probably the biggest legend of the lot. I did offer him a new contract to sort of be backup, but he didn't want to sign with me, unfortunately. He's been with me since League 2, since the conference. He hasn't travelled the whole journey with me, but because he missed the first 3 seasons. Lovelock's been there since the start. He joined in the 4th season, or was that the 5th season? That must have been the 5th season, actually, because it would be the 5th season, because that's the season we got promoted. So he's been with me ever since we started going up regularly. Had a great career with me in midfield, but didn't play for me at all last year. He was on loan at Doncaster in League 2. Just shows his actual level. Dennis Main has gone as well. Didn't quite develop how I liked him to. Lots of other youngsters have left the club. And Carvalho has gone out on loan to League 1 Carlisle. So coming into the team then, I've spent some money, guys. The biggest of which is Camigliano. Let's try and pronounce this right. Agostino Camigliano from Brescia. 2.1 million. He is a really solid left back for me. He's actually right-footed, but he is a left back. Anyway, I thought I needed an improvement on Tanza, and I've got one. He's a class player. He's been solid over the years. Seasons for Brescia and Serie B. He has been very good. Moving on to Harry Maguire, he will be my main centre-back this year. He's a Championship quality player, really. He was transfer listed by Everton. But it just shows my realistic level, to be fair. He's better than Hickford and Langiano and will be partnering one of them, I don't know which, unless I find an even better centre-back to go alongside Maguire. It'd be a shame to leave out Hickford and Langiano because they've been good players for me over the years. But I have to be realistic. If I want to stay in the Premier Division in this first season, I need to sign better players, and that's what I've done. I've brought in a better keeper than Agovic, Mandanda, a Belgian who has been playing in the Pro League. They were relegated. Mons were relegated. Started his career at FC Ajax before moving to Anderlecht. But yeah, he had a good season last season in the 2nd division in Belgium. And 375k for him, I think, is a really good fee. He's really good with goalkeeping attributes, okay mentally and physically as well. So hopefully he will improve the team. You'll notice these contracts are a lot higher than what I'm used to paying. Like, for example, Thomas Rincon, Venezuelan legend, 127 caps for Venezuela, is on 11.25k a week. I can afford that now. A lot of my players are on really low wages, so a few star players coming into the team will be on higher wages. I decided to sign this guy, even though he's 35. He's really good at where I need him to be in defensive midfield. Marking 20, tackling 15, aggression 19. Very good mentals. He's a great player to have in defensive midfield. He's been at Bromby the last few years. And signing him on a free, good play, 65, he's 35, he's got a year contract. And I'm hoping he will be good. Alongside Lucena, they'll probably rotate depending on who turns out to be better, I don't know. Lucena's offers something a bit different. He's not quite as physical. Only 2 aggression, for example, for a defensive midfielder isn't that great. Moving on then. Now this guy, another Portuguese guy. I've really raided Portugal the last couple of years. Antonio Carvalhas is 23 years old. He's worth 7.5 million and I got him on a free from Benfica. who didn't need him anymore. He's never really played a huge number of games, but I'm really hoping he can come alive. He's got great physicals, acceleration and pace very strong, brilliant crossing, good dribbling. That's what you need from a winger. 15 passing as well, looks like a good all-round player. He will be my main right winger. Let's hope he doesn't disappoint me. And lastly, so far, because you might see me signing some more players in this episode, Fabiano Brancialeone, who is Italian. He's apparently a wonder kid. If we look at him, wrong one, information, wonder kid. So he could be a star player one day. Juventus signed him a couple of years ago from Verona. Hasn't played many games. I don't know if he'll be my main striker because of that reason. He's not experienced, but he could come alive this season with me and really be a star player. 18 finishing, decent composure, off the ball 17, very good acceleration and pace. He's a dangerous player, decent dribbling as well, 12. Could be a good advanced forward for me, or poacher. Looking forward to seeing him play, I really am. So let's go through the pre-season, see if I can sign any more players. So far I've only played one pre-season game. I'm going to let my assistant take control of a few of them, and I'll probably manage the last three and show one or two of them in this episode for you. So I'm signing another striker, another Italian striker, another young Italian striker, but this one is a fee involved. £3 million for Papilli from Lazio. Looks like a very good all-round striker to have up front. I'm not sure if he's as good as the other wonder kid I have. I think he's a similar ability, maybe a bit more all-round as well. Has more experience. Not played a huge number of games, but last year 2 goals in 2 sub-appearances for Lazio in Serie A. And that's good. He didn't play many games, but he scored 2 goals. So I'm hopeful that he can be a good player for me in the Premier League. He's pacey. He's got good finishing, good sort of poaching attributes, good dribbling, first touch, that sort of thing. So I'm hoping he can be a good player. So hopefully one of my strikers can turn good. I've still got Fotu. I'm going to try and loan out Juranovic because he won't get any game time this year. And there we go. Let's get Lovelock to welcome him to the club. He's still the captain at the moment. Whether he will be for the start of the season, I don't know. So Papilli is apparently not quite as good as Brancialeone. Apparently Paul Mitchell is my best striker, despite the fact I do play him in midfield. He may end up being the main striker this season, I don't know. It does depend on how these 2 Italians do, I guess. We'll give them both a chance in pre-season and we'll see how they get on. Apparently Papilli is good enough for the Championship. That is the realistic level of my club. We are going to struggle to stay up, but with the tactic I have, I think we can stay up. I really do. No one seems to want Juranovic. He's all lonely. I'm going to offer him to clubs out on loan for 0 wages. Surely someone will want him for that. He's a decent striker. So the team's looking pretty good now. I think I could do with another central midfielder though. I've got Mitchell and I've got Pimenta. And O'Connor can play there, the youngster, and Perkins can play there, the other youngster. And Hoey. But they're all young and not brilliant at this level. So I could do with another quality central midfielder. I have been scouting for players. I've just been looking through manually at different players basically that I have already scouted, or players that I think realistically I could sign with the money that I have. So I sort of go down the list, look at players worth £2 to £3 million. Dele Alli's available. Well, maybe not available, but he's certainly a player that I could possibly sign. So I'm going to just scout some of these central midfielders that are 3 to, let's say, £1.5 million worth, and see what my scouts initially think of them. I could have gone for Danny Ings, to be honest, thinking about it. He's a decent striker, he's experienced in the English leagues, scored plenty of goals last year, 22 goals in all competitions, has been in the Premier League, although he hasn't really scored a huge number of goals in the Premier League. So maybe I am better off just taking a risk, going for 2 unknown young Italians to maybe add some enthusiasm to the strike force and a fresh dynamism to the team. That's what I'm thinking anyway. It may go completely wrong. Then I might have to call on Paul Mitchell to go up front, which isn't a bad thing. It's just I'm struggling to find central midfielders. I've got 3.43 million left, but I'm actually over my wage budget now, so I'm going to have to reduce that, and I don't have a huge amount of money left now. Maybe I just have to try and get rid of a couple players, except no one really wants any of my players. They're not really good enough. Is there anyone I could sell? Paul Faulkner, possibly, but he's not really worth anything. There's not much point, really. He's my backup left winger. Amadou will be my main left winger. Faulkner backup, I guess. Right wingers, I'm fine. I've got, what's his name? Carvalhas and Chris Robinson. So that's good right wingers. Oh, how am I going to stay up? I think I really am going to have to rely on this tactic. The team's just nowhere near good enough. If we compare, let's do the comparison thing with the rest of the teams. I always find it interesting looking at this sort of thing. We've actually got the youngest average age out of any team, 25.5. Average height, we've got the lowest, which isn't great. Average international caps, as you'd expect, is the lowest, and youth caps. Average player wage is definitely the lowest. Look at Man City, 155k a week. Average player value, the lowest, as you'd expect. It's gonna be a struggle. In terms of defence, we've got the worst, apart from on aggression, which is Southampton. How on earth are we going to stay up here? Goalkeepers, we're not too bad, actually, with our 3 or 4 goalkeepers that it's taken ratings from. We have the 4th best kicking, 9th best command of area, so that's okay. Goalkeepers, I think, is okay. Oh, I'm looking at all positions. That was all positions we're the lowest for. Defence-wise, we're not the lowest for anything. But we are in the bottom 5 or 6 for everything apart from tackling. Midfield, we are bottom for a lot. That's where I need to improve. I really need to improve and get a better midfielder. Pimenta's good, Mitchell's good, but they are very similar. And I could do with another better midfielder because we're bottom for long shots, vision, teamwork, tackling, technique, decisions. That's not good. That's probably because of Perkins, Hoey and O'Connor, who are young players in the first team. They'll be dragging this down, I guess. And attack-wise, we're okay. We are bottom for heading and anticipation, but we're 3rd highest for pace. We could cause problems to people on the counter. Definitely need to think about changing this to counter, actually. So rather than attacking, we're going to go counter and try and hit people on the break. I think that's the best approach for us this season. I keep coming across decent strikers that could probably do a good job for me, but they're similar level to what I've got, and there's no point bringing in another striker. But I scouted lots of players, and those 2 Italians just stood out for me, and I hope they can be a hero for the club. Anyway, my assistant's going to manage the under-21s match. Let's see how we get on. The game against the under-21s, I must say. Hopefully we can get a good win. Oh dear, we lost. What is my assistant playing at? How have we lost against the under-21s? They don't even have any players. They played Michael O'Connor. He's the only player of note. What on earth was my... How? Seriously? That's hilarious. And quite embarrassing. Never mind. I will be taking control after the Bromley game for the last 3 games. Just looking at midfielders, this guy looks pretty good. He's another Italian, but I just want to compare him. This is what I generally do when I'm manually scouting players. I compare them with my best midfielder, Pimenta. He's definitely better physically, but other things, there's not much of a difference, so I don't think there's any point signing this guy. We'll have a look at some others that my scouts have scouted over the last couple of years. Serbian, plays for Verona. He looks quite good. Passing 17, vision 14, pretty tidy. Let's look at him compared to Pimenta. And similar again, much better physically. I suppose it'd be useful to have a better physical midfielder. He's better at passing slightly, not so good at vision. Let's just weigh up if midfield roles. So Pimenta generally plays just a normal central midfield support role. He's better at first touch, not so good at marking, better at passing, not so good at tackling. There's a bit of a variety. They're similar level players. I'll see how much they want for him. If I just bid 1 million and see how much Verona want for him. 1.6, that's not too bad. That's certainly a player I could sign. But can I get a better player? That is the question. Adnan Fejcic. He started playing for the first Serbian team. Maybe if I reduce it to 1.3, they would accept that. I'm going to bid for a few other players, I think, at the moment. See who I can find. So this is the style of the pre-season videos. I've done one of these before, and people seem to enjoy it, where I just sort of go through, I'll show you what I'm doing in pre-season, The video might be a bit longer, but it just shows you what I'm doing behind the scenes, and it's just sort of like a pre-season special before the Premier League. I thought it would be a good thing to do. So I found another midfielder here. I don't think he looks good enough just at first glance. So I'll keep going, looking down the list. Is this the guy I just looked at? No. Hirasovsky. He's got experience. He's 31 years old, plays for Slovakia, and he's a decent midfielder, but I think he's probably very similar to Pimenta if we just have a look. And yeah, they're better at different things, each of them, but they are both very similar. So I'm going to pass on him, I think. Just come across another central midfielder, David Petrucci. Do you remember him? He was at Man United a few years ago, and I think he could be a decent player for me. He's been playing quite low down the divisions lately, but I like the look of him. I do. He's experienced as well. Having another Italian in the team could be useful. Although he's mainly an attacking midfielder centre, doesn't quite fit into my team. By the way, I have had my bid for Fejik accepted, and the young Serbian, I like the look of him, and he's wanting 15k a week, which I've offered to him. So let's see if he comes back to me and accepts that. So here we go. He's come into the team. I like him. I think we need another central midfielder. That's obvious. So I think it's best to get one in now before it's too late to get one in. Decent fee as well. I probably won't be able to sign any more players now after this guy. So here we go. Decent player. He's slightly below Pimenta and Mitchell apparently. Well, actually, he's about the same level, 3.5 stars. And he will be, a great addition to the club, I think. Let's look at the squad then and see. It's a big team now. Take away some of those goalkeepers, then I think we've got enough players in each position. Rincon and Lucena, defensive midfielders. We've got central midfield, Pimenta, Mitchell, and our new guy, Fejik. Wingers, we've got Chris Robinson, Carvalhas, Amadou, Faulkner, I guess, is a backup left winger. And up front, plenty of players. Brancialeone and Papilli, main two. We've got Mitchell, if those two don't really cut it up front for me. And Fotu is back up. I'm trying to get rid of Juranovic. No one wants him. It's a bit annoying. But I think the team's a reasonable size. It's a good size. It's not too big and not too small. I've got no money left, really. I'll have to adjust the budget again just so we're not over our wage. There we go. So I've got 47,000 left. I'm really borderline. So if I want to bring in more players, I'm going to have to get rid of some, or they're going to have to be loan signings. And I don't think you can have too many loan signings in the Premier League. We've got Pimenta, Mitchell, Robinson and Brancialeone. I don't even know if I can play all of them in the same team. I'm unsure of the rules. I've completely forgotten. So let my assistant take control of another friendly, and we managed to beat Novara. Brancialeone with 2 goals on his debut. Obviously a friendly debut. But still, that's a good start for him. That's a good win. I don't really know where Novara are based. They're in Italy. Okay, maybe it's not a good win. They're pretty low down, but still, it's better than losing against the under-21s. So I'll let my assistant take control of the Bromley game. Then I'm going to take control of the games against Estudiante and Freiburg, and then I will show the last game against Academica. And that will end the pre-season. And then the next episode will be the start of the Premier League season. We're starting with a bang as well against Chelsea. So I've just registered my players just to see I'm hitting all the targets when you have Premier League registration. And I think I have. In fact, I've got exactly 25 players in the team. O'Connor and Brancialeone don't need to be registered because they're under 21. Carvalho's ineligible because he's out on loan. So everyone else, that equals 25. That is quite remarkable. I've done that without even intending to, and I've hit the exact target needed. We've got 13 players who trained in England for 3 years before their 21st birthday, so we've easily hit that target. So that's good. Yeah, pleased with that. So I can't sign any more players unless they are under 21. Although Juranovic, I'm hoping to get rid of, so maybe a couple players will be able to go if I do want to sign any more players. But like I said, I've got no money, so I've not really got any option at the moment. Lovelock wants to discuss his future at the club again. He did this last year. What should I say? When you've retired and you're looking back at your career, the most important thing will be the medals you've won. Staying here. There we go. The medals he's won, yeah. League One champions. I think that's it so far. But still, that's better than he'd ever have achieved if he'd stayed in the conference. Premier Division title odds have just been released. It looks like Man City are the favourites, then Tottenham, Liverpool and Arsenal. 2,000 to 1 to win the title. Quite predictably, bottom of the pile by a long old way. Nottingham Forest 300 to 1, but we're 2,000 to 1. Oh, we are predicted to really struggle. Our top players are Paul Mitchell and Amadou. Looking at that list of players, it's value-wise, we must have the two least, surely. Oh no, we don't. Crystal Palace. Jordan Rhodes is in there. So Crystal Palace have decided to sign Jordan Rhodes. Reading have a player in there, and Watford as well. Ah, interesting. So we struggled to win against Bromley 2-1. Goal from Mitchell and a goal from Papelli today. But we're not really having the best of pre-seasons. It doesn't always mean anything though. Lots of players have been scouted. I've been scouting lots of players and I can't sign any of them. So it's a bit annoying looking at some of these and thinking I could have signed him. But they're all similar level to what I have anyway. So I'm going to play this friendly behind the scenes and I'll let you know the result. This is the team I've gone with. I'm giving Brancialeone the main striker role. Let's see how he does up front. And unfortunately, Amadou's injured, so he won't be able to play. I want Maguire to play instead of Hickford. No, instead of Langiano. I'm going to try out different partnerships to see which one works best, I think. He joined me at the end of the game and it hasn't gone to plan at all. We've lost 3-0. I don't know. I mean, it was quite an equal game. Shots-wise, very equal. They've had more possession. 2 clear-cut chances to our 1, but very frustrating. 2 of the goals were from corners as well, so I'm going to have to work on defending set pieces, I think. It is pre-season. I tend to vary in pre-season. I do have the odd game where I really struggle. But really not good enough. 3-0 defeat at home against a pretty strong team. They're a similar reputation to us, I think. But that is disappointing. On the other hand, the under-21s are doing quite well because I've been allowing my first team players to play for the under-21s. You can see Papelli scored and Juranovic has scored. I don't know, maybe I should keep Juranovic just as a backup in case. Maybe he could turn good and be an amazing goal scorer for me. You never know. Let's see how he's done so far in pre-season. He's actually got 2 goals in 3 games and 2 assists. He's done really well. So maybe it's worth keeping him around. No one wants him anyway, so I might have to be forced into keeping him around. So this is the most fun thing, deciding squad numbers. Mandenda's going to have to be number 1 now. Sorry, Lovelock. You're not number 1 anymore. But you're still in the team. That's the main thing, I guess. Lorenzo wants to be 6. Walker Peters is definitely not number 2. I'm going to put Camigliano as number 3. Why does Lorenzo want to be number 6? This is random. He's just screwed up the positions. Hickford number 5. Langiano number 4. I think Hickford can be number 14. Rincon can be number 5. We'll make Pimenta a much more sensible number. Number 8. Number 7, and Mitchell he can be number 8 to this season. This is great fun. Oh, actually, Carvalhais wants to be number 7. It doesn't really make any difference to them. Pimenta can be number 9, and the rest can be automatic, I think. Is there anything that's not sensible here? Branciano instead of Juranovic is number 11. Foti's not really number 10 anymore, is he? Papilli can be number 10. And Foti can be further down the list. Amadou, I forgot about Amadou. He can be number 25. I do love Amadou, but he's going to have to be a lower number. Why is O'Connor number 40 anyway? It doesn't make any sense. We'll do that actually. Cool, sorted. I do like picking numbers actually. I don't know why. There's just something about it. It's quite fun, weirdly. Ooh, we're going to be on TV for our first ever Premier League game. Chelsea against Chelmsford. Some great alliteration there. £1.2 million we received for it as well. That is fantastic. You may be wondering what's happened to my stadium. I don't think we've actually expanded it. I'm also interested to see, because I haven't seen anything come up saying we need to expand the stadium. So I think we're going to have a 5,000 all-seater stadium in the Premier League. It's so small. But yeah, I don't think... There's just been no news about expanding it, weirdly enough. Increased youth... I can't even ask to improve the stadium. We have bought it though. We're not renting anymore. We did buy the stadium. So that may make a difference in terms of expanding in the future. Not that there will be much of a future, I'm afraid. Although I'm thinking of holidaying a few years once I finish this, and the last episode would be just me holidaying into the future to see what happens to Chumps City in the future. Someone came up with that idea ages ago. I'm certainly thinking of doing that for the last episode. So I'm going to play another friendly behind the scenes, similar lineup. Let's see if I can improve on the last game. It can't get much worse, to be honest. I suppose the team's still gelling. I'm going to change the training focus actually to, we're going to go teamwork, and fitness is still high. I'm going to change that now to defending average, just ahead of the Chelsea game. We're actually going to defend set pieces, because I know that Chelsea are always really dangerous from set pieces on Football Manager, so I think I need to watch out for them with that. So it looks like we're about to draw 0-0. Pretty boring game. We've had our chances. They've had a couple of chances, but that's it. 0-0. An improvement on the last result, to be fair, but still a little bit disappointing. But pre-season's all about building up the fitness. It isn't to do with the results, but I think the team's been playing okay. Even in the 3-0 defeat, we played reasonably well, created chances, and we conceded a couple goals from set pieces. So it's all about how we play and the fitness levels. So yeah, it's not the end of the world, a 0-0 draw against Freiburg. So I'm going to show the last friendly of pre-season, and that will be the end of the episode. And then next episode, Chelsea in the Premier League. What a way to start our Premier League campaign, eh? So we're playing Academica today from Portugal. We're going away to Portugal, so a lot of my players are going home today. Unfortunately, Leone is on international duty of Italy under 21, so he can't play today. You won't get to see him. So Papilli is going to go up front, and on the left I'm going to put Faulkner, I guess. He's only just come back from injury. Unfortunately, a lot of my players are still not quite fully fit because of a couple of injuries. Pimenta's just come back from injury, and Amadou's still injured, so that's a bit of a blow. Hopefully he'll be okay for the game against Chelsea, but he may not be fit enough to play. So we'll have to see how it goes. I think I'm going to go with Maguire and Langiano at the back. Langiano adds something extra to the team. Because he's got decent free kicks, which is always useful to have in the team. And Hickford will be on the bench, but that could change depending on how Maguire and Langiano play at the back together. So I think this is that's the team I'm going to go with. Let's do this. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. Mitchell has just opened the scoring in this game against Academica, blasting it into the top right hand corner. There you go. Silly me. Hopefully we can win this game to end pre-season on a high and go into the Chelsea game full of confidence to then get battered by Chelsea, most probably. We're going to need a lot of luck this season. Please hit the like button if you haven't done so already on this episode. It's amazing that we've made it to the Premier League. It really is. I'm so thankful. And now it's just about staying in the Premier League. Just relaxed. I'm not obviously trying to reach the top of the league now. It's all about staying in the Premier League for this last season of Chumps to Champions. Maybe get to a cup final. That would be marvellous. I really would love to win either the FA Cup or League Cup. Not bothered, preferably the FA Cup, but if it's the League Cup, that's great. Let's keep going up there. We've done well. I'm going to make some subs though at half time. Papilli's not really done anything up front. I was hoping he would. I'm going to put Fotu up front. We may have to rely on Fotu after all because he's more experienced. He's a goal scorer. Chris Robinson's going to come on as well. I'm actually going to put Nick Riley on the left wing. And then anyone else? Fedjic isn't having a good game, is he? I'll take him off for Pimenta, who needs to build up his fitness after his injury. Rincon can come off for Lucena. Still haven't decided which one of those to play. I think I'll go with Rincon to start with and see how he gets on. We'll leave the defence as it is for now, just to build up a bit of strength amongst them and familiarity, I guess is the correct word there. Been a pretty boring game so far. We've only had that one chance which Mitchell managed to find the back of the net from. But other than that, it's been poor. 4 shots to them, 8 to me. No clear-cut chances. They've had slightly more possession. Never mind. We're winning. That's the main thing. Can we get another goal here? Fotu, back to Lorenzo. It will be about grinding out results this season, I guess. And this is a good practice for that. Lecena on the ball. Back to Langiano. Maguire over the top. Fotu. Riley scores. 2-0. Nice to see Nick Riley still in the team. Signed him when I was in League One. Ex-Man United player. Suffered from injuries. And last season had a decent season. Good semi-final first leg against Huddersfield. Incredible first half an hour from me and from Nick Riley. Setting up 2 goals. He's a dangerous player to have. He's got pace. That's about it. But he can cause problems at times. Mitchell into Robinson. Can we get a third? And that's a penalty. I don't know who my penalty taker is now. I'm going to have to sort out set pieces actually before the Chelsea game. I haven't decided who to take them yet. But up steps. Who is it? Is it Mitchell? Let's see. No, it's Pimenta who finds the back of the net. Nice stuff. Let's make some subs then. I'm going to bring Agovic on in goal actually. And I'll take off Maguire. I'm going to put Hickford in to see how him and Langiano do for the last half an hour. And Mitchell can come off. And I'll bring on young Aaron Perkins to see how he does in the last half an hour. Probably won't play too many games this season. Him, Hoey and O'Connor. But they're the backup midfielders. I need backup midfielders in case Pimenta, Fejic and Mitchell get injured. Or one of them gets injured. I may loan out one of them at times. We'll see. And Agovic is in the right place there to stop that attempt from Academica. Their first clear-cut chance of the game, and we survive it. 3-0 win. This is great. I'm surprised, I must say. Maybe we're better away from home. I hope you've enjoyed this pre-season episode. It's quite long-winded, I guess. There's lots in there. I'm showing you what I'm doing, signings, talking about just stuff in general. But I hope you've enjoyed it anyway. And I hope you're looking forward to the last season, the Premier League season. What everyone's been looking forward to, I guess. And let's hope not to disappoint. I'm a hard team to beat. I've not lost many games in the last 3 years. In the last 4 years, really. Perkins makes it 4. That's great. I suppose since going up from the conference, in fact, we haven't really lost many games at all. We've been hard to beat. My win percentage is pretty high. My draw percentage is also very high. But hopefully we can keep that going and not completely fold in these Premier League games this season. Is this going to be the end? Can we make it 5 with 2 minutes of injury time to go? Perkins over the top for Fotio. Be great if he could score. That's an awful finish from him. Really is. Never mind. It's a great game from us. Great way to end pre-season. This is the perfect way to end pre-season. Unless we concede here, then it's not quite so perfect. Here they go. Can we get a tackle in? Well done, Perkins. Intercepts the ball. Pimenta trying to find Robinson. It was a bit of an adventurous, ambitious ball there. Surely this is the end of the match now. 30 seconds to go. I don't know why this highlight's so long. Not much is happening. Still going. The game's broken. 10 seconds of pre-season to go. And here goes Fotu with 1 second left. And that's the full-time whistle. 4-0 win. Brilliant win. Really enjoyed that one. That reminds me of the end of last season. So yeah, great stuff. Okay, so that is the end of this episode, guys. I've made all my signings. If I want to make any more signings, then I'm either going to have to be loan players from abroad. I think I've reached my limit for domestic loan players. Or they're going to have to be free signings. Or they're going to have to be players signings when I sell a player. But I think I'm happy with the team as it is. I suppose if we're really struggling by January, I'll have to do something. But I'm pretty happy with how it is right now. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you're looking forward to episode 85. Like I said, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button. Subscribe if you happen to be new to the channel or you've just never clicked subscribe before. and leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Maybe you'd like to comment on some of my signings. Maybe you think they're all crap, or maybe you think they're decent and I'll be able to survive this season. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon, guys.